Hello everyone, Destructive Nerd here, doing a little mod spotlight here. Although this is an ordinary mod spotlight. This I will be showing you compatibility of other Forge mods with the Ships and Boats mod. What the Ships and Boats mod does, it allows you to get a whole bunch of blocks such as these or these, put them all together, and throw a champagne bottle at it, and you make yourself a little ship. And it's basically a complete own entity, just like the Minecraft boat. So imagine this whole thing as your boat. But a question arose up when people started using it with other mods, of course, like other Forge mods. And the question was, hey, can I use my mod blocks with this? Well, the thing is that, well, even though it's guaranteed to work together, it doesn't guarantee that this little special feature will work 100%. So this is showing you the main compatibility, for major Forge mods such as Redpower. We got here, got IC2 over there, some Buildcraft, and right here is a special little addition because I've already done this before. I know what I'm doing. This I will show you in a little bit. But first, let's get to the Redpower, shall we? Here we have a logic gate. Hi, Mr. Turtle, and other Mr. Turtle. Some wirings. A little bit of lighting up blocks, and here we have a deployer with a block breaker. Now, will all this work when it's turned into an entity? Let's find out, shall we? Quick flash of the lights, and voila! Everything appears to be working fine. Let's go to nighttime to make it seem more beautiful, shall we? And look, it still glows beautifully in the night sky. As well, the block deployers and the block breakers are working perfectly fine. So it appears as though Redpower has every bit of compatibility with the mod as anything. Which should be understandable since this is really just advanced redstone, and redstone is practically integrated for this. One thing to note though on Bluetricity for machines is that Bluetricity has the rare chance of glitching, and you will have to destroy the bat box as well as the wires and whatever machines you have hooked up to it before it'll actually work again. All of that is quite rare. Most of the time, you're just gonna have to turn it back into regular blocks before you can really utilize it. So here I'm going to go turn it back. Poor turtle. Change it back to daytime. Over here we have another little small ship. On this ship we have some Buildcraft special stuff right here. A little pump config. As well as we have a few low voltage solars hooked up to some MFSUs. Now one thing to remember about this is that you see this is a special GUI just for the MFSU. As well over here, it was special GUI for the low voltage solar, and of course special GUI for the steam engine. Now, the thing is that since the mod blocks weren't specially designed for it, when they become an entity, they basically lose their ability to bring up your GUI. So when this thing turns into a ship, you can't right click and you can't view this. It'll just be like clicking like that. But will they still work? Let's find out, shall we? Turn it. Everything appears to be fine until we look over here. As you can see, the pipes have disappeared, but you can still see by the outline they exist, sorta. So we have a pipe right here. Will it still work functionally? Well, first let's see if it... No, it hasn't deployed. Odd. Last time I checked, it did deploy. Well, let's turn that off and let's go over here. As you can see, there is no GUI, but who knows? Maybe it could be supplying power still. And it appears as though the pump does not work at all. Sad. That's odd. Completely different results from my last test where it actually did come down. Well, different times calls for different things, different circumstances, different glitches. Who knows? So let's turn it back into a block. Holy creeper. Energy flow has stopped. But according to this, energy is still being produced. Watch what happens. I'm gonna destroy all these wires. Place down some new ones. And finally reattach. I forgot about these wires now, did I? As you can see though, it does not work still. What else is there? Well, let's break this. I think the cat's drowning. Poor cat. One place me down another MFSU, and power is flowing. So unfortunately with IC2, when it becomes an entity, the generators will still produce energy. But unfortunately, the wires and the MFSUs will no longer work correctly, as well as other electrical storage capabilities. So if you're planning on using IC2 or Buildcraft for your ship, just make it for aesthetic purposes. And when it comes to the pipes, unfortunately, they do not work functionally. They do not exist as far as Buildcraft is concerned. As you can see, it is no longer pumping. And as you can see, it also causes other Buildcraft blocks to glitch as well, as it is no longer pumping in there. One thing to note though is you can only harvest your placed pipes once you have turned it back into blocks. If you try to harvest them when they're in entity form, when they're still floating, you will break it and it will not come back. It'll be destroyed completely. So be careful. Now, one thing that interests me when I discovered it was that the liquids inside of tanks and tanks themselves are not affected at all by the unfortunate glitch that plagues Buildcraft. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to present to you an issue which every Buildcrafter has always had. We build a base, let's say here. Well, no, we build a base, let's say over there. That's our main base. And here, let's say over this way. We're 300 blocks away from our previous base. Now, we found a giant oil well here, and we have all the oil and other liquids here in the ship. But how are we going to get these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of buckets of liquid over 300 blocks away over the ocean without having to connect pipes and then having chunks load, and then it's like really much of a hassle just to transport liquids? The solution is build this. Basically a giant oil rig, or oil tanker, I'm sorry. Here I have different types of liquids, including Buildcraft fuel, biofuel from Foresrty, biomass also from Foresrty, oil, water, and lava. And down here I will also show you is that when GUI will go away when this is activated. However, the items will still be there, so therefore it can still be a vital source of storage. Now I'm going to take you all for a little bit of a ride just to show you that you can still transport liquids and they won't glitch or anything like that. They're still pretty good there. Thank you for a ride, and I'm also going to go ahead and tell you about the really odd glitch, or not glitch, I don't think it's actually part of the code. But one thing to know is that when you dry dock your ship again, you're going to want to have it at least in the same direction as you originally did it. You see, the mouth of this dry dock is pointing to, I believe this is west. No. Or is it Minecraft north? Anyways, the mouth for this is pointing in the same direction as the original mouth that this dry dock was in. I don't think I'm gonna get through this. And you're gonna want to make sure that the direction of the mouth is the same all across. Otherwise, you're gonna run into a little bit of a problem. And let me show you what I mean. Before I turn it back into blocks, though, go down and show you you cannot open the chest. I will now turn it back into blocks. Shut up, turtles. And watch. Pretty cool, right? So once again, the ship, since it is facing, I believe, yes, that is indeed, this is south. The original direction it was facing, it'll always face that way when you turn it back into blocks. Now, let me go down and show you. It was turned into entity, you cannot open it, but everything, it's still here and it's still perfectly extractable and placeable. Some egg just got laid. And here we have your liquids, but do they survive? Is this really, or is it just a graphics glitch you're seeing? Well, I am proud to say that this is not a glitch. It is perfect. And that the liquids did make it. Watch. I turn on the engines. As you can see, the liquids pump out perfectly fine. More oil. More oil. So if you ever have an oil rig that's like 200 blocks out from your house, you no longer have to like connect a huge pipeline. It's like just put it on this and you can transport it easily. Probably the most prominent and best feature I can imagine for this mod is that now Buildcraft has a full way to actually transport tons and tons of amount of liquids in one go with very little resources really invested. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude my little compatibility tutorial. In conclusion, I will restate everything. Redpower has full compatibility, but when using Bluetricity, be warned that there might be a small glitch. IC2, really you can only use it for decorative purposes. If you want to have a bunch of MFSUs on the side of your ship just to make it look cool, holy crap, then go for it. If you want to have some solar panels and make it look like you're eco-friendly, go for it. But be note that you won't be having an induction furnace running on your ship anytime soon. Buildcraft pipes are broken. You can't use the pump to pump water or any other resource into tanks. The only thing though is that since tanks are registered separately, you can have as many liquids in your tanks, transport them over a mountain distance, and it will be completely safe. Best feature ever. As night approaches, my friends, I will leave this to you. I will be doing more compatibilities in the near future if I see fit. Next up, I'll be trying to combine a way to make a Foresrty capability. Hope you all really enjoyed. This is an ending, Destructive Nerd. Peace out, everybody.